Angle. Students return back to campus.
Wall Street is shaken up.
And an OC staff member receives a very special honor.
All this and more on Eagle Angle. Hello, and welcome to Eagle Angle, a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University. I'm Elliot Moore.
And I'm Elijah Johnson. Students at Oklahoma Christian are flocking back to campus for the second semester with a renewed sense of energy as they return from their elongated holiday break. While students are glad to be back and are anxious to get back into the rhythm, the university is still taking the same precautions as last semester in order to combat the spread of COVID-19 on campus. OC is continuing their Love Your Neighbor campaign by promoting social distancing, mandating that masks be worn, and providing accessible testing. This semester, we will see a new COVID clinical officer in Kim Langford. Kim is a registered nurse and a coordinator of OC's Ellis Clinical Simulation Center.
Each year, Oklahoma Christian puts on a musical competition known as Spring Sing. Spring Sing has been around for over 50 years and features social clubs competing with one another in song and dance to their themed shows. Typically, Spring Sing is held in the Ball Auditorium over 3 nights for the general public to view. This year, however, the pandemic has changed all that. Spring Sing will be held outside on a stage built in the Forum in front of the Williams Branch Center. Participants will be required to wear masks during the show, and pre-recorded voice tracks will accompany them on stage, making it easier for the audience to hear. Spring Sing will take place in the beginning of April, so stay on the lookout as we will update you with the latest information as it comes.
If you go to the second floor of Davidson American Heritage Building, you may notice some serious changes from last semester. Construction has been completed for Wilson's Landing, a lounge for students and faculty to relax. The renovations consist of 2 updated classrooms, LED lighting, a new ceiling grid with acoustic tiles, and updated wall finishes. This $55,000 project was funded by the family of Jim Wilson, a beloved political science professor in the 70s and 80s at OC. Wilson's Landing will be a wonderful meeting and relaxing spot for students for years to come.
If you have any stories that you would like us to report on, please send us an email at our producer at will.hadley@eagles.oc.edu. And now for our national news. Alejandro Mayorkas is the U.S.'s newest Department of Homeland Security Secretary. The Cuban native is the first Latino and immigrant to hold that position. Mayorkas' confirmation comes as President Joe Biden eyes making changes to former President Donald Trump's hardline immigration policies. John Lawrence reports.
With a few strokes of the pen, President Joe Biden starts erasing a part of his predecessor's legacy.
I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy.
On Tuesday, Biden signed 3 executive orders related to immigration.
We want to put in place an immigration process here that is humane, that is moral.
One of the orders establishes a task force to reunite families who were separated at the southern border as they tried to enter the U.S.
The second action addresses the root causes of our migration to our southern border. And the third action, the third order I'm going to be signing, orders a full review of the previous administration's harmful and counterproductive immigration policies, basically across the board.
In addition to former President Donald Trump's heavily touted border wall, his stance on immigration included hardline policies aimed at keeping immigrants and refugees out of the country and required non-Mexican asylum seekers to stay in Mexico until their scheduled court dates.
When I became governor, border security was a state issue. When Donald Trump ran for president in 2016, he made it a national issue. So I have a great concern that all the gains that we've been able to achieve on the border can be lost.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
What began as an online campaign against short sellers has escalated into a full-blown movement as retail traders pile into the market and cause wild swings in some stocks. At the center of it all is an unassuming video game store, GameStop, whose value has ballooned as traders look to turn the tables on the hedge funds who bet against it. Richard Quest explains how this stock market movement grew over the course of historic weeks for the market.
No one predicted the trading revolution would begin here.
GameStop. Play, trade, save, repeat.
Its tale is all too familiar. A struggling brick-and-mortar retailer and a target for short sellers. Then something strange happened.
Video game retailer GameStop, its shares are up some 15% pre-market.
GameStop is soaring once again.
Video game retailer GameStop is set to continue their head-spinning ascent today.
Retail traders organising on Reddit had spotted a simple opportunity. They knew that the major institutional funds were predicting GameStop's demise. So, using trading apps like Robinhood, they snapped up its shares en masse, and they put the hedge funds on the back foot. The results were staggering. The same big investors who bet that GameStop shares would fall suddenly had to buy those shares to protect their portfolio and position. On Wednesday, the shares more than doubled in a day. The Reddit traders celebrated their victory. The hedge funds licked their wounds. And suddenly, everyone wanted in.
I just know it's got to be more of a full-time job. And because if you're it's like catching a falling knife when things start to go the wrong way.
Just as the world was waking up to this, the trading platforms were forced to act. Public interest was surging, and as a result, Robinhood blocked certain trades.
You know, we had to make a very difficult decision to protect our customers and our firm.
Retail traders from several platforms were blocked from buying shares in GameStop and other companies that were being targeted. As GameStop shares tumbled, the online trading community was furious.
In the history of the stock market, don't ever hear the rich guys, the institutional firms, the hedge funds saying, hold on, we're making too much money. You better protect us in case it goes the other way. This seemed like it was just the little guy was winning and the rules changed on the fly.
Robinhood later relaxed some of the blocks. Even so, where things go from now is anyone's guess. There are calls for congressional hearings. The White House and the SEC say they're monitoring the situation. And yet, because this trading is at the very grassroots, the mania continues. GameStop shares are up more than 1,500% this year. A partner at one venture capital firm says it's only the beginning.
This is a fundamental change to the market dynamics. It's not just a bunch of institutional traders. Retail investors are a force to probably be understood and in a humble way.
None of this is a game, of course. The risks are very real, and so are the companies caught in the middle, whether it's airlines or phone companies or bricks and mortar retailers. Companies must now deal with a whole different breed of investor that can be having dramatic influences on their share price. Richard Quest, CNN, New York.
The remains of the police officer killed at the Capitol riots are lying in honor at the Capitol this morning. As lawmakers pay their respects, investigators struggle to build a federal murder case, and House leaders pass a new rule in a push for safety. Britt Conway has the latest.
The remains of U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick lying in honor at the Capitol, the fifth private citizen to be honored this way. President Joe Biden and his wife Jill paying their respects. The president shaking his head. And it seems federal investigators are doing the same as they struggle to build a murder case because of a lack of evidence linking a specific act to Sicknick's death as he defended the Capitol during last month's insurrection. Tension here is still high, remembering what happened that day.
I hide behind my door like this.
Security has tightened, and there are metal detectors now, but the new protocols frustrated some lawmakers, frustrating House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in turn.
When the enemy is within the House of Representatives.
Now there's a new rule that just passed on the House floor, fining any member who doesn't complete security screenings before entering the House chamber. $5,000 the first time, $10,000 if it happens again. With Pelosi saying in part, quote, "The people's house must and will be safe so that we can honor our responsibility to do the people's work." And Massachusetts Representative Jim McGovern spoke up on the issue too, saying some members on the other side have disrespected these Capitol Police officers, all to avoid this basic safety measure. That is no way to treat our heroes. One of those heroes, Officer Brian Sicknick, who will receive a congressional tribute Wednesday morning. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
That'll do it for this week's national news. Stay tuned because Daniel Hart has your Eagle Angle weather report right after this.
One in three adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Good day, Oklahoma. I'm Daniel Hart, here with your Eagle Angle weather report. It is currently 63 degrees here in Edmond, Oklahoma, and sunny. Now let's take a look at what the weather around Oklahoma is like today. In Durant, it is 70 degrees. Both Oklahoma City and Sallisaw are both at 63 degrees. Elk City and Miami are both at 61. Tulsa and Ponca are both at 62 degrees. And then finally, Guyman is at 77. And now for tonight's temperatures. Tonight is going to be 57 degrees with some winds coming in from the southeast at 17 miles an hour. And humidity is going to be up at 62%. This is what our weekend is going to look like. This weekend, it is going to be partly cloudy with the temperature in the high 50s, and we do expect some winds coming in at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And finally, here's your 5-day forecast. On Thursday, it is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 51 and a low of 32. Friday, it is also going to be partly cloudy with a high of 58 and a low of 36. And finally, Saturday is also going to be partly cloudy with a high of 57 and a low of 31. Sunday is going to be sunny with a high of 57 and a low of 35. Monday is going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 39 and a low of 12 degrees. And that'll be all for your Eagle Angle weather report. Don't go anywhere. We have Jojo Martinez in the Entertainment Corner right after this break.
Tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
Boots! She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Good evening, I'm Jojo Martinez and welcome to the Entertainment Corner. Despite the spread of an unprecedented pandemic, football fans across the country will get a chance to kick up their feet this Sunday and watch the 55th Super Bowl. Against all odds, the National Football League managed to pull off one of the world's most anticipated sporting events. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will face off against the Kansas City Chiefs at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, February 7th. You can catch the game on CBS, but also for free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Two of the world's biggest tech companies could be headed to war against one another. According to the New York Times, Facebook has considered filing an antitrust lawsuit against Apple. The report states that the lawsuit would rest on Facebook's accusations that Apple is guilty of anti-competitive business practices on its App Store. The two companies could not be more different in the way that they make money. Apple continues aiming to prioritize privacy in their products, and Facebook continues breaking barriers in users' personal data. The 78th Golden Globes are just around the corner, and already Netflix is dominating the nominations list. Some of Netflix's notable nominations are the David Fincher's Mank and Aaron Sorkin's The Trial of the Chicago 7, which are both nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Motion Picture Director, and remain only 2 entries in Netflix's long list of nominees. The annual awards ceremony will air on February 28th on NBC at 7 p.m. and feature returning co-hosts Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. And what will likely be a divisive announcement among DC fans, the upcoming HBO Max exclusive release Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is officially rated R. According to Collider, the rating is for some violence and language. Needless to say, this will provide to be a major selling point for the mature audience, as this is the first live-action DC film since 2009's Watchmen to have an R rating. Reprising their roles, Ezra Miller, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck, and Ray Fisher are also joined by newcomer Jared Leto, who will supposedly reprise his role as the Suicide Squad's Joker. The film is set to debut on HBO Max exclusively on March 18th, 2021. That's all for your Entertainment Corner. Now to the desk for Trinity Carpenter, who has your sports report. Trinity?
I'm Trinity Carpenter, and this is your Eagle Angle Sports Report. One of the most iconic head coaches to ever coach here at Oklahoma Christian will be inducted into the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame this coming August. Dan Haynes coached the Eagles for 33 seasons and won a total of 724 wins, which is the most by any coach at a 4-year college in Oklahoma. He had a record of 653 wins and 402 losses while coaching here at Oklahoma Christian. Hayes will be the third OC-related person being inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other 2 are Jeff Bennett, who was inducted in 2017, and Sherry Cole, who was inducted just last year. We would like to congratulate Coach Hayes for this outstanding accomplishment. This past Tuesday, the Oklahoma Christian volleyball team played their first game here at the Eagles Nest for the first time in 38 years, as they would face off against the Mustangs of Midwestern State in a best-of-5 set match. The Eagles would battle back and forth in the first set, but end up losing the first set. In the second set, the Eagles would dominate in the second set, winning 25-19 to tie up game. But after the second set, Midwestern State would settle in and win the next 2 sets and the game. The 2 teams would then play the very next night, and the Eagles would come out strong, winning the first 2 sets to put the Mustangs in the hot seat. But the Mustangs would not falter, as they would battle with the Eagles and force it to a 5th set and finish the comeback to get the victory over the Eagles. The girls were back in action last night as they hosted Cameron University. Oklahoma Christian came out strong, winning the first set against the Aggies. The Eagles would then not look back, as they would win the second set and then go on to get the set sweep to win the match and get the first win at home since 1983. The volleyball team will be back in action tonight with the opening serve in about 15 minutes. The Lady Eagles basketball team, since the break, have played several games and have gone through several injuries, including losing one of their star players, Katie Mayo, for the rest of the season. But despite the injuries they have gathered over those games, the Lady Eagles have put up an overall record of 4-3 to start the season, with all of their victories being on the road. With that being said, Oklahoma Christian would play back at the Nest this past Saturday as they took on the Lady Lions of Arkansas Fort Smith. The Lady Eagles would start off strong, finishing the first quarter with a 20-11 lead, but Fort Smith would battle back and regaining the lead heading into halftime 36-32. The game would then go back and forth, but Fort Smith would not let the Eagles regain the lead and would go on to win 71-65. The Lady Eagles' top scorer of the game was Brooklyn Bain, who had a double-double with 25 points and 11 rebounds. Oklahoma Christian would then play this past Monday at home against an old-time rival, Oklahoma Baptist. The Eagles again would take an early in the first quarter, but end up giving up the lead right at the end of the first half. In the second half, both teams would continue to battle defensively as both teams would combine for a total of 41 turnovers in the game. And because of all the turnovers, the Eagles would end up falling just short 61-58. The top scorers for the Lady Eagles were Tyra Peck and Emma Epperly, who would combine for 32 points, Peck with 17 and Epperly with 15. After these losses, the Lady Eagles will fall to under 500 on the season with a 4-5 record. The Eagles will be back in action on Friday as they will take on Midwestern State here at the Nest. Opening tip-off is set for 3 p.m. As for the men's basketball team, they would too play in a few games over the break, which have them gather an overall record of 2-8 to start the season, with both of their wins coming in overtime, both being on the road. The Eagles would then have to stop their season for a few weeks due to COVID. But as of Monday, the Eagles were back out on the road to take on Arkansas Fort Smith. OC would only have 7 players, but that wouldn't stop them as they would take an early lead in the game and control that lead heading into halftime 37-35. In the second half, the Eagles would continue to pile on the scoring as they would pull away from the Lions and come out on top, winning 75-56. The Eagles' top scorer was Marco Foster and Anthony Johnson. Foster had 29 points and 7 rebounds, and Johnson had 19 points and 7 rebounds. The Eagles will also be back in action Friday here at the Eagles Nest again against Midwestern State. Opening tip-off will be right after the conclusion of the girls' game. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Sports Report. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Eagle Angle, where it's your campus, your news. Good night.